Hello, Flirties, and welcome to a brand new Flirtini with me, Benjamin, the Flirt Coach, signing on here at Flirt Headquarters to bring you a conversation about expressing interest in dating, how to do this, why it matters, and why we should all be a little less nonchalant. I say be more chalant. Say the thing, do the thing. You get what you ask for in many ways. You get the energy that you put out there. And when you show up with just that slight bit more intention, it's going to reveal the people sooner rather than later that have at least some similar intentions as well. So you don't get into these situations, into these connections, into these relationships that last for months. I mean, they could go on, and you just feel like at the end of it, you didn't really have as much in common as you thought, or it was really based on a lot of texting or that instant chemistry, spark, physical attraction, that kind of thing. How can we get below the surface? Yes, develop those deeper connections based on things we have in common, alignment around values, all of that good stuff. All right, let's get into it. First, I recognize that none of this is easy. Expressing interest and receiving that interest back going to be a part of dating, connecting, and forming relationships. And it can be a little scary. You may not want to come on, let me get my air quotes here, too strong or too fast. You may not want to be too vulnerable too soon or too cringe. Say the wrong thing. Be awkward. What if you were just trying to ask some questions, express interest to let someone know you are enjoying spending time with them, and that inevitably pushes them away? I want to offer you this. I'm going to reference back to the first ever Flirtini here, where I asked the question, how do we know if we're ready to date? And how do we know if the people we're going on dates with are ready to date? And the emotional CAR stands for emotional capability and capacity, emotional availability, and emotional readiness. If someone has the capacity and capability to date and be in a relationship, if that's what you're looking for, they're going to be able to have those conversations with you. If someone has emotional availability, you're going to witness that through their words, through their actions, through what happens in between the dates. If someone has emotional readiness, you're going to see that again through their words and their actions. Are they bringing up some of the conversations? What are you looking for? Maybe you're talking about past relationships. If there's dating history, you're talking about how you want to feel in a relationship, what type of partnership, what type of relationship you may want, what's important to you, what are your values? And all of this is going to be revealed by expressing interest. Another reason I think expressing interest is really important, and this goes for all sexualities, all genders, is because it makes dating less about the chase. Because the chase isn't always about that interest. It may be more about chasing attention, validation, a feeling. Setting up dating as this very goal oriented, results oriented process, which I know you want the relationship, possibly, probably, but it's more about having a relationship, a connection with the right person versus just any person. It's really about creating a connection, a relationship that's based on compatibility and connection over chemistry. I'm not saying don't have chemistry. I know you want to be attracted to the people you date, of course, but it's a yes and. It's not either or that one is more important than the other. We've got to cultivate compatibility and connection as well as chemistry. It's about seeing the different levels of attraction that are present beyond the physical attraction. If that is important to you, is there that emotional attraction, perhaps that intellectual attraction? I know that's important for me. Maybe a spiritual type of attraction is really important to you. And then I think there's energetic attraction as well. You want to feel this element of aliveness in your dating lives and in your relationships. And expressing interest, which of course goes both ways, is really going to help you in all of those areas versus making it just about the chase. All right, so here are a ton of ways that you can express interest, starting with some of the perhaps obvious ones. And yet, when you get nervous on a date, in text, on a FaceTime, in between dates, you find someone really hot, you're maybe going into fantasy, Delulu, limerence a little bit. All of this is probably going to go out the window first. So some of the ways to express interest: asking questions, asking questions, especially if you feel like you get on a roll talking about yourself a lot, or maybe there's those pauses in conversation, which are all good. And you're like, oh, what do I say? What do I say? Just ask a question. What are you curious about? What do you want to know about the other person? Great way to show interest. Giving some compliments, right? Do you like their shirt? Do they look really good that day? Did you really enjoy the date? Did you appreciate their energy? Or maybe like how they reacted, navigated a situation at work, in their education, with their family, with friends? Did they talk about something that recently happened in their life that you're like, wow, that's like really impressive. That's really cool. Compliment them on that. Eye contact, I know that makes you nervous, but on dates, just, look at them a little bit in the eyes. If you get nervous, you can always look away or sort of like look down a little bit, maybe at the chin or sort of up here and there. But making eye contact is going to be really important for expressing interest, listening, acknowledging, giving some of those verbal cues, those affirmations. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, that must have been, oh, that probably felt like, or, oh, tell me more about that. Just being engaged in the conversation and affirming the other person that you're actually present, that you're actually listening, and that you're interested in hearing what they have to say. Great way to express interest. And put your phone away unless you're, I don't know, a single parent, you're on call or something, like you just can't put it away. I understand there are reasons you need to have your phone out sometimes, but if you don't have to have it out, just put it away. Using their name here and there, especially in an introduction, in a goodbye, somewhere in the conversation, can be really, really great, just to bring it back to the moment and make it that little bit more intentional. Like, yes, this is just us, and I'm here and I'm listening. Saying thank you here and there can be really, really great. Just showing appreciation and following up is another way to express interest. Can be in the moment, in a conversation, on a date. Maybe it's over text in between dates. Maybe it's on a next date, a second, third, fourth, right? Whatever date that's coming in the future. It's just about, yes, I remember that thing we talked about. Was something coming up at work? Did you have something going on with your family? Were you about to go out of town? What did we talk about? And can I follow up on that thing? Along with this, remembering some of the details can be really, really important. You don't have to remember all the details. Like, I know I'm giving you tons of ways to express interest, but just like notice a few, maybe jot down a few, keep a few in your back pocket that you can pull out on your dates, on the apps, right? Wherever you're connecting, wherever you're looking to form relationships. Yeah, these are just tools that you're gonna be able to use. Another way is to bring the energy. Be excited. I'm not saying fake it or be over the top, so to speak. I mean, if you want to be really excited, then be really excited. But I think sometimes we just want to play it cool, right? We don't want to be like too much or come on too strong or even be cringe, if maybe that fits for us, if that's what we're thinking. But if someone is talking about something that genuinely excites you, like they just went to the Lady Gaga concert or whatever, be excited. You can also, and I know this one can be a little scary, but say how you feel. If you're really enjoying a conversation, a date, getting to know someone, wow, I really enjoy spending time with you. I just think talking with you is so much fun and so fascinating. I'm really excited for our next date. Of course, I've got to include in this list a little bit of flirting. I mean, I could really go on a flirting tangent for sure, but flirt a little bit. Flirt a little bit on your dates. I mean, all the things that I've shared with you already can definitely be used as ways to flirt for sure, but don't forget to flirt as well. This next one here can be based on your own level of comfort, your boundaries, how quickly you like to move with physical intimacy, but letting someone know that you find them physically attractive, right? You're attracted to them if that's important to you, and dating with maybe the hug, right? A kiss, going in for the kiss, asking for the kiss, expressing interest in the kiss, different ways to play with this based on your own boundaries and comfort level. And of course, if someone is moving too fast, you don't have to consent to anything that you're not ready for. Another way is to do something that they enjoy. So, did they reference or mention something on a conversation or in a conversation, on the apps, perhaps on a date, that they would really want to do, maybe something they've been wanting to try, a favorite food, a favorite type of movie, a favorite place in town, just something that they really want to do. Yeah, do that. And with this, it shows that you care, right? It really hits on some of the other things that we've talked about here about following up, remembering the details. Like all of these are just really fantastic ways to express interest. And I also want to mention here the communication piece, which I mean, we've been talking a lot about, but communicating in between the dates as well. This doesn't have to be a ton of communication by any means. If you're not a big texter or that's not your favorite thing, all good. Swap that for a phone call, for a FaceTime, can be great ways to keep the communication, aka the momentum, going in between dates, and also a fantastic way to express interest. And what all of this is about, why it's important, is it's going to reveal to you who is in the driver's seat of their own emotional car. Do they have the emotional capacity, capability, availability, and readiness to date, to perhaps be in a relationship? Are you driving your own emotional car? And it really speaks to how we want to feel seen, right? We want to feel heard, understood, acknowledged, and valued in our relationship. Even if it's in the infant stages, the beginning stages of perhaps a new relationship, we want to feel like we matter to someone else, even if they're multi-dating, if perhaps you're multi-dating, right? You're not off the apps yet. You're not exclusive. You haven't defined, so to speak, the relationship, right? What are we? It's okay. You still want to feel like there's some purpose here, there's some intention there, that you're somehow moving closer to your dating desire of being in a relationship, if indeed that is what you're looking for and that is why you're dating. And if someone is not in their own emotional car, maybe they have some level of availability, seems like they have some capacity, but maybe the capability and readiness pieces aren't really there, right? As you're showing interest, are they able to receive that interest? Are they showing that interest back? Do they always seem distracted? Do they seem like they just kind of shut down? There's a difference between someone who is shy, maybe a little bit more emotionally reserved, even kind of protective, which I understand if there's been some not so great dating experiences or perhaps relationships in their past. And yet I still think there will be some of these elements of showing interest present versus the person that is always redirecting the conversation or just completely ignores your questions, ignores your expressions of interest, your bids and invitations for connection. Someone that maybe only wants to hang out at their place or your place, or who's texting you after hours or only in the morning, right? With a good morning text kind of thing. And then nothing in between, nothing throughout the day, nothing in between dates, or not even trying to go on dates. Someone is really going to reveal through their words and specifically their actions what their true intentions in dating, like what are those intentions? Why are they dating? All right, so let's get into a few perhaps nuanced questions here where you feel like you can't really tell if someone is interested, maybe where they're at. You feel like you can't fully trust your intuition. Maybe you're feeling a little bit confused. You can say, use the two phrases, I can't tell, or I feel like, and just notice what you're observing, what you feel like you're seeing, what you're sensing, and relating it back to what your experience has been. You get to ask some of those questions to help you get clarity around a situation, around a person, and what their intentions might be. And with this, it's not about changing people, right? People get to show up exactly how they want to show up as who they are. And of course, that's true for you as well. And this is going to really help with this idea that sometimes we can lose ourselves in a relationship for the sake of being chosen, of being picked, to feel like we belong, to feel understood, acknowledged, seen, and valued, heard. Something I've been playing with in my content recently is like, one thing in dating and relationships is we have got to be okay with quote unquote losing people or recognizing that they're not the partners, not the connections, not the relationships for us, so that we don't lose ourselves in this process, so that we don't sacrifice and self-abandon and just throw our boundaries right out the window over our shoulder kind of thing, so that we continue to show up with our intentions, our purpose, what it is we're looking for, what do we want, why are we dating, what kind of relationship, partnership, connection do we want to be in, so that whatever that is, whether we're dating for a relationship or whether we're not dating for a relationship, all good, but we want to still be in connections that are fulfilling, that give more than they take, right? That don't ask us to change who we are. And expressing interest, I just feel really strongly it's going to help you show up more authentically. I know, big word in dating, but it will help you show up more authentically, and it's going to help reveal to you others that are also showing up more authentically and not making it so much about the chase, attention, and validation, which we can get just really caught up in, lost in. And that's maybe where we start to lose ourselves a little bit as we're chasing that feeling, right? Chasing that high. It's about seeing who's for you and who's not. It's about being intentional so that you stand to attract higher quality dates and higher quality connections that pour back into you, right? That there's some mutual fulfillment there. All right. This has been a Flirtini, all about expressing interest in dating. I hope this was helpful. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. If you're listening streaming on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, where am I? I've been on some crazy places recently. Samsung. I'm seeing, like, I don't know how my podcast gets on some of these platforms, to be honest, but wherever you're listening or perhaps watching, thank you so much for being here. Please leave a comment, a rating, yes, a thumbs up, whatever feels good or right to you. Express some interest that you enjoyed this Flirtini and are enjoying the show. It really helps me to continue to do this work, grow the show, attract the best quality guests and conversations I can for you. Yes, it's all just really, really helpful. And then share this episode or another favorite episode of Flirtini or a full episode of Flirtations with someone you want to share some BFE, Big Flirt energy with. And I thank you for being here. Okay, signing off officially at Flirt headquarters. My name is Benjamin. I'm the flirt coach and gay Libra flirty. Happy flirting.